Hey, what is the deal, YouTube? It is Craig Harris, the black man in the green chair. I'm going to do a point 5 here of what happened earlier because something did dawn on me about what has happened within the Xbox community, what has happened with this system that they're coming out with. And it's something that I don't think anybody is really looking into. And it really just hit me when I was listening to a podcast about 15 minutes ago. What has happened here is the Xbox community, they have literally thought that the third-party developers were going to give deference to this system that was coming out. That's what has happened here. That's the only thing that makes sense. And the only reason this is making sense to me is somebody introduced this to me about an hour ago and asked me just to kind of chew on it for a little bit. And this is the truth here in a nutshell. The Xbox community truly feels that the third-party developers should give deference to the new Xbox because it's more powerful. And I'm putting that in air quotes. They truly feel that way. So they're talking about they're going to boycott Destiny 2 because Bungie didn't take advantage of everything that Microsoft had to offer. They don't care that the original, because they truly feel that Bungie is supposed to go ahead and spend extra money on a console that's brand new with an install base of zero people. Microsoft can't guarantee how many consoles they're going to sell, and they have documented proof that their community doesn't buy their games. The Xbox community does not buy their games. So what has happened is they feel okay because the first-party development didn't work out. Again, the Xbox community didn't buy these games. They feel, even as a minority gamer, meaning that even though there's less Xboxes out in people's homes, they truly feel that the developers, the third-party developers, should automatically give deference to them because they did that with the Sony system. They still think that the Sony system got deference. I just heard a podcast that guy said Digital Foundry killed us. Digital Foundry did this and that. Digital Foundry's been doing the same damn thing for like 5 years. They do tech comparisons, and they're already killing them right now with this system that they got. So they're not running 4K. They're now trying to say that, well, it may not be total 4K, but and then here comes the buts. But the games are going to still look better. But they still don't understand that the TVs are going to upscale. But that's what this is all come down to, is they truly feel that the third-party developers should just give deference to them because, hey, they have the most powerful console, and it should be just something that they do. They don't care that there's 30. They don't care like a game like Destiny 2 is built on a 30 CPU. It's built for 30. That's what it is. So, now Phil Spencer, to his credit, and shout out to Randall Thor, he has said that, that he's worked on some first-party deals, and that is fine. So what they were hoping, and this is just going to wrap, this is what you are witnessing. You start at the beginning. They truly still believe that the only reason why the PlayStation outsold the Xbox is because the third-party developer games, multi-plat games, whatever you want to put it, they looked and ran better on the PlayStation. So everybody just went out and bought a PlayStation. Again, they don't care about the price and the ecosystem. Doesn't matter. They think EA Access is a good thing. They think games with gold is a good thing. They think that, you just go on and on and on. They don't care that they're paying an extra $30 a month, roughly, with all these subscriptions, and Microsoft is just taking them in the back room, and they're pretty much, bending them over every month so they can have access to games. And if they played on PC, they would just play for free, So what you have now is damage control to the point where they have been thinking the whole time, okay, now walk with me on this. Number one, they truly believe what I said earlier about the multi-plats looking better on the PlayStation 4, so it's a default automatically. Number two, they feel even though this fake 4K, as they said, those aren't my words, it is fake 4K, they still think, well, it's going to look better on that system, and it's not. It is not going to look any different, you know, and any difference will be negligible. Okay, it'll be negligible. So if it's going to be 4K upscaled on the, I don't know, Assassin's Creed Origins, 4K upscales, 4K upscaled, it doesn't matter. Now, you may have a high-sense TV, and you may have, I don't know, an LG, and you get different value. I mean, you get, you know, so it's just, it is what it is. So it is, this is what they think. So they were thinking that third-party developers like Rockstar, like EA with, you know, say with DICE, like Bungie, trying to give another one, EA, just, you know, name your big, you know, EA with BioWare, things like that. They truly thought, since Microsoft, and understand this, they want the third-party developers to treat the Microsoft system like it's like their first party, like they give deference. So you see, Coalition is a, you know, that they make Gears of War. Coalition's a first-party studio. Those are the people that should be maxing out, again, air quotes, the new system, because they have the most time with it. They've already developed software for all Xboxes, you know, so because they have access to the old, you know, stuff that Cliffy B did. So because Microsoft owns that. So what has happened, and understand this, and this is for everybody, because this is, I'm just trying to give you all a an understanding scope so you can anticipate what they're going to say. They want the third-party developers to treat the Xbox like it's like these third-party guys are first party. They want them to automatically say, and it doesn't matter who it is, okay? All these Xbox guys are the same when it comes to this. They want third-party developers to treat them like their first party, meaning that, you know, treat the Xbox like a first-party device, meaning that they want them to give deference to the Xbox. That's what they were wanting the whole time. Okay, so everything else has been a facade. See, now the Digital Foundry has come out and said fake 4K on Anthem, fake 4K on Assassin's Creed. They're not getting any, you know, they're not getting any extra stuff from the Bungie game. Again, now it makes sense, doesn't it? Now it makes sense. It's okay. We don't have any first-party studios. I'm talking about Microsoft. So these third-party developers are going to give deference to the Xbox because it's more powerful. Now that it's coming to fruition that that's not going to happen, they are upset. I had no idea that Detroit Become Human is going to be a multi-plat. So if it is, it is. Is it going to PC? So what's going on, guys? Just send me a link on that. I'll comment on it. So if it's going to PC, fine. So is it exclusive? Okay. Well, I'm not for sure. So I know most of the games that Sony showed on their stage had a 90% clip were exclusive. So I'm not for sure which ones it was. So, but yeah, I'm a buy Detroit. You know, it is what it is. I'm buying Detroit. But that's the first day buy for me. I don't care when it comes out. But that's what has happened here, honestly, in a nutshell. It's no big. So now you can. So now people need to really understand what has happened. Is that hey, look, no first party studios on the Microsoft side, and they don't have them. Okay, they have Turn 10. They have two studios making the same type of racing game. They've got Gears of War. They've got Halo. And, okay, so since Gears of War wasn't at E3 and Halo wasn't at E3, so that's what, you know, so what were they going to show? So they showed a Forza game. Okay, fine. We knew they were going to show that. Fine, no big deal. So they showed Metroid. Again, that is a multi-plat game. And 90% of what they showed is multi-plat as far as console multi-plat. The rest of the stuff you can buy on PC. I thought Ori was just a console exclusive, but I found out that it's not. So so that's what has happened very quickly, guys. So May have misread it on again, I don't know. I thought Detroit was made by a Sony first-party studio. Here, let me look it up real quick. Let's see who made Detroit Become Human. I can just tell if it's a first-party studio or not. It's first party. If it's first party, it will not be multi-plat. If it's second party, it could be. It could go to PC. It just means it won't go to any other platforms. So let's see. Detroit Become Human. Detroit Become Human is an upcoming neo-noir thriller video game developed by Quantic Dream and published by Sony Interactive. So if it's published by them, it's first party. So I hope that helps. So that's pretty much it for that. So if it's first party, it's not going to, be a multi-plat, not unless they put it on PC, which is possible. Just keep it 100. But as of right now, it's only slated to be released. It says platform PS4. So, but that could change. You guys are right. So, J-Dog, I heard the same podcast, and what you're hearing in them is that, again, no first-party games. So we want these third-party developers to go ahead and give deference to them. But let's look at why that's not going to happen. First things first, the Xbox community did not show up to buy their game. So, Destiny 2 already had its own, Bungie already had its own event for Destiny 2 Halo. So that's just the truth. So everything that Microsoft offers, they think is the right thing to do. So look, if you have an Xbox and you have Xbox Live, let's just call that $7. Okay. Let's say if you pay $7 for Xbox Live, games with gold. What is that? $4.99. Then you have Xbox Game Pass, and that's $10. I think that's $10. So right now we're already at $20 out of your pocket just to access this shit. Okay. Then what other services do they have? They've got like EA Access. So you have all 4 of those services. They think that's a good idea to pay an extra $25 a month. So I'm just here to tell you all is straight. That's not going to work. So they are willing to pay. Let's just add it up here because that's $25 extra a month. So 25 times 12. Hell, I can't see that shit. I don't know. Somebody do the math for me. Well, 25 times 10 is what? $250. So they're wanting to pay. Xbox is shaking close to $250 extra a year out of these guys. So hold on, let me do that again. Let me turn on my lights. Let's see here. Let's do this on the quickness. Yeah, I got $300. Yeah, let me redo that. So 25 times 12. Yeah, that's $300. Okay. So, they think that's a good idea to pay an extra $300. And I'm figuring that on the low. I'm figuring, all right, you get a month or something for free, or they give you something like a pass. But this is where their community is at this point. So understand what I'm saying here. So very quickly, one, they lied about the Microsoft system. Their first-party games. All right, let's look at a first-party game. Let's throw all the bullshit out the way. Let's look at 2 big first-party games. Excuse me. The one, Crackdown 3. Crackdown 3 is a first-party game. Okay? It's 30 FPS. It is. That's just a fact. Gears of War is a first-party game. It is 30 FPS. So, again, Digital Foundry already said if the game is running at 30, it's going to probably run 30. So they don't have a CPU strong enough to jailbreak it out to run extra. So what they were thinking, and this walk with me now. So what they were thinking, yes, Halo Storm, and that's fine. My point is that why isn't it running 60? But that's why it's not. But understand, they were thinking that the studios, again, like Rockstar, like EA, like Bungie, like, you know, BioWare. I mean, those games, they thought, okay, because of this power, the third-party guys are going to treat the Microsoft system like a first-party system. That's the underlying cause here. Okay, so because they're not, and they're finding out that it's going to be checkerboarded or sparse or dynamic. Now that they're figuring that out, because again, Digital Foundry is tearing them down. I mean, it's been a big teardown for the last 48 hours. So, and then the Bungie people literally just plunged a silver stake through their heart. So, and so that's where we're at, guys. I mean, that's what happened to them. That's what happened to them in a nutshell. So now you can anticipate what they're going to say now. So they're going to start saying things, well, these games are going to be running at higher fidelity, and so it's going to look better. And again, it's going to look a little bit different, but again, it's going to look negligible. And if you know how to set your TV settings, you can set shit up, so set shit so it looks roughly the same. So that's why they're saying, well, Sony is, I'm going to deal with this real quick. Sony holding Microsoft back. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Sony has nothing to do with Microsoft's first-party games. The third-party games, that's up to the developers to hit these marks. So now some of them are going to do it, but most of them are not. And so these people are liars. These are the same guys that told you Ryzen Vega CPU. That was a lie. They told you that all these games are going to be 4K native because, again, they thought the third-party studios were going to treat them like a first-party developer because of the power. They thought, the developers want to see their games running better, so they're going to make them look better on this system. Wrong. That didn't happen. So, it is what it is. And, yeah, a lot of these games are not coming out till next year. With that said, however, there's enough games coming. I think Ori and the Blind Forest comes out this year. I think, let me get my paper here. Look, Forza 7 comes out on the 7th. Cuphead comes out in September. Crackdown comes out in November. That was it. And, the other ones were multi-plats. Assassin's Creed is a multi-plat game. Life is Strange is a multi-plat game. Shadow of War is a multi-plat game. It is what it is. So Cold Vein multi-plat game. Last Night multi-plat. Black Desert multi-plat. So they don't have, and so they feel that even though these games were multi-plat games, but since they showed them running on the Xbox, somehow they're exclusive to them. They're not. They're just not. And Aaron Greenberg has come out and said that Xbox Premiere or World Premiere exclusive was that you were seeing the game run on the first time on that system. They had exclusive rights to show you the game. That's it. That's why they're acting like Anthem is a first-party game. Anthem's a multi-plat, So it is what it is. So it is what it is. So where did Sony promise a super powerful console? Sony is. Yeah, that's the thing. Sony told you at their press conference they were going to deliver ultra high graphics and fidelity, which is what they did. So, so that's just the way. That's what has happened. Again, Sally, you make this is about the 8 teraflops. Now PS4 Pro is like 4.2 teraflops. So, but it does have a butterfly chip in there. So, with that said, however, that is what's happened in a nutshell. Okay, so because there's not a lot of first-party studios for Microsoft, they thought third-party developers were going to just default and make their games better on that system. And what they fail to realize is that they don't have an install base. Number two, they're the minority, which leads me more into what I was discussing earlier about crossplay. They're not going to do crossplay because as a minority, business, in a business, you can't dictate to the majority of people. You just can't do it. So even though there's the Nintendo system, let's just say the Nintendo Switch has 8 million on sold, 8 to 10 million sold. Let's give them 10 million. There's, and the Xbox One, the Xbox is sold 24 to 27 million. Let's give them 27. They still are 14 to 16 million behind the PlayStation 4. So it is what it is. So that's what has happened though, guys. That's really what this all comes down to. So a group of people thought, because there's no first party games, that the third party developers were going to go ahead and give deference to their system, because it's not happening. And these systems these developers have marketing deals with Sony. They feel, well, the Sony people have paid them to hold those games back, and they haven't done it. It's just something that they don't understand how this business works. So they in turn make stupid ass statements. Okay. Best looking game at E3 was Spider-Man. As a matter of fact, that game is so popular, it's being talked about in the comic book world, which is a world that I'm not going to get into because that's not this show, but I'm heavy into comic books and movies. But you go to Collider Videos or Emergency Awesome, these are big time YouTube channels that cover movies and comics. They are talking about the Spider-Man game. They're not talking about Anthem. So Spider-Man will cross universal boundaries, and they're just going to sell more PlayStation. So don't let any of these cats tell you that exclusives don't matter. What has happened is, because even like Halo Storm was saying, Microsoft showed 22 games at their press conference. But what he doesn't understand is that they showed 22 games are going to be on other consoles or on PC. So that's all they did. They have a multi-plat device that they thought that these developers were going to default and make their games look and run better. That's not going to happen. It's stupid for the developers to do that and then have nobody go buy the system. Right now, Microsoft's analytics have told them what does Phil Spencer said? He said, quote, the system is going to sell the most in the Microsoft ecosystem is the Xbox One S. Oh, that's a quote from Phil Spencer. So if you're a developer, a third-party developer, why would you spend extra money developing for a system that's going to not even be the leading seller of that ecosystem? So just ask yourself that basic question. So any questions in the because I have to go to work tomorrow. Are there any questions? And I can stay for 7 more minutes. So anybody have any questions? The first party developers are trash. The problem isn't that they're trash there. The problem is that there's not enough of them to sustain their ecosystem. So again, they're fans. I'm talking about their fanboys. Guys, like, shout out to Randall Thor. See, Randall Thor is not liked by a lot of people within the Xbox community. So, so it's and that's just the way it is. So that's what they think. That's if you apply what I said to everything else, that's what's going on here. They're not trash. They're not garbage. There's just not enough of them. So why did not talk about the CPU at E3? Because everything about the Scorpio has been talked about by Digital Foundry. So, I mean, that's just the truth. So what you're going to see with the Scorpio is there's a lot of games on PC that a lot of people haven't heard about that are good games. That's people haven't heard about it. They are going to be able to put those games on the Scorpio. So because that was part of the deal when Microsoft moved their games to PC. So, so that's what they think. So even now with Anthem, they're treating Anthem like it's a first party game, even though it's a multi-plat game. So their last hope is that they show side by side comparisons, and Digital Foundry says, oh, it does look a little bit better on this, when they've already said it's going to be a negligible look. They've already said that. So it is what it is. So but there's no reason to talk about the CPU or GPU at the conference. So And again, their biggest applause from that group of people was when they said that the original Xbox games were going to do that. What's up, Andrew? So it doesn't matter. It's still a Jaguar. Okay, so it's still a Jaguar. That's why the Avatar, I changed that to a Ryzen, because that's what they were supposed to put in there and they didn't. So, and it is. So it's still a Jaguar. Yes, it's a custom Jaguar and it's overclocked, but the one that they have in the original Xbox is overclocked as well. So, I mean, again, that's just what it is. So it is what it is. Don't make it any harder than it has to be. So any other questions? So yes, it does have an evolved Jaguar. So yeah, Ryzen is new, and Ryzen will more than likely be in the new PlayStation when it gets announced. So, and again, because Sony is in a position of power, because they're controlling the market. Sony has like 61% of the market, maybe it's 64%. So they're controlling the market. Microsoft is looking up, saying, why don't we do crossplay? So for this, and this. And they're not going to do it because Microsoft is in the minority, and they don't get to make demands of the people in the majority. Just think of Microsoft at this point. I'm gonna use a Star Wars term. Sony at this point is Emperor Palpatine. Okay, so and nobody, not even Darth Vader, as badass as he is, could make demands of his emperor. So Sony will never have better versions of multiplats ever again. Look, they're going to be right on par. So I mean, that's so it is because they have no players on Xbox. I mean, they don't. It's not, again, they thought that the third-party develop. That's why they're so upset with this news that's coming out. They're not talking about any games. They were damage controlling all day today, and all day yesterday, to the point where we're just beating them into submission, So it's Sony should allow you to do crossplay. I mean, you heard these guys saying on another podcast tonight, hey, look, how come they can't play and see who the better multiplayer is? Well, they already have that. It's called esports. You can play on the platform of your choice. Okay. They have open platform tournaments. They just did one with FIFA, and the PlayStation guys won. Okay. The PlayStation guys have won the Madden tournament for the last, I think, 4 years. So, it is what it is. So this, again, don't make it too hard. According to Jack, there is no Ryzen Vega in that thing. So yeah, you're right, Andrew. I think they I agree with that. And Mark Cerny never said it's 8 T-flops for games. Yeah, you're right, because in order for them to go 1440p and upscale, they didn't need 8 T-flops or 6 T-flops. They just didn't need it. So all right, super sampling only helps you, Halo. If you have a 1080p TV, the super sampling the game will look a little bit better on a 1080p TV. The game is super sampled versus one it's not. But again, it's negligible. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. But again, this is your fault for not understanding that. It's not my fault. I understand that stuff. So no crossplay is stupid. It takes away from having multiple platforms. Again, if you want to play competitive crossplay, then just play on esports. That's all you got to do. Okay, get a team together and go into esports. You can win some big money. I mean, you can flat out win some big money. So it's negligible. That is actually from Digital Foundry. So, I mean, I don't know what kind of difference that you guys are expecting. So, but you're going to get a negligible difference. That's literally, you are. So, but it's not my fault that you don't understand that. So, like I've seen it myself. Just go to Digital Foundry and look up super sampling. They'll tell you exactly what it does. So, you know, yeah, well, Halo is not a hard game. So, but Halo, I don't think is part of the esports. It's not damage control. You can go there and source it yourself, or you can believe a bunch of lies. That is your choice. So Phil keeps killing it. Yeah, I don't know what they want to do. And you heard, like I said, they think that, well, we're trying to push everything forward. Look, you can play esports cross-platform. Okay, you can go in and pay your $150 to $200 entry fee, and you can play, Mortal Kombat. You can play Street Fighter. You can play Tekken, Gran Turismo. I know these are the esports games. Splatoon. All that stuff is esported. But so the Splatoon, that is run by Nintendo, but everything else is cross-platform. So just, yeah, they did use half floats in their GPU. They did. So Halo is garbage. I mean, that's what you said, Halo Storm, earlier. Your words, not mine. So and Halo's not even. And again, that's a great example. I'm glad he brought up Halo. Do you know that studio, Bungie, hated the fact that Microsoft was trying to control that game? So they hated it. So, yeah, Phil Spencer did say that he thought 60. And again, I don't blame him on console. 60 FPS, if you're playing a competitive multiplayer, like, shout out to Jimmy B Gaming, because he made a very good point. If you are if you play competitive multiplayer, then 60 FPS makes perfect sense. But if you're just playing at home on your console, 30 FPS should be your goal. So that's just the way it is. So, but any other questions? So, State of Decay 2. Okay. I mean, look, as long as you left the conference looking forward to some games, that's what the conference is for. So, I mean, it was underwhelming. The Microsoft conference was underwhelming, considering that they had, what's your budget on that PC build? I never looked at it like that. I guess I should have set a budget down. It was going to be about $750. So I'm hoping to do it at between 680 and 710, 725. So that's pretty much it. But I got the motherboard. It came in today. So I got my motherboard. I've got the tower. So everything's coming in bit by bit. So as far as this month, I'm done ordering stuff. In July, I'm saving for the CPU. That's what I'm saving for right now. So I am trying to get the Ryzen CPU. So no, the Sony conference was just was okay. I mean, they just kind of came out. And again, understand, Halo Storm, that the Sony conference started at 8:00. I mean, again, it's not Sony. Sony did a lousy job of telling people about that. So it is what it is. So so it's just so PlayStation E3. Yeah, it's not that here was their problem. They came out, and I understand why. They showed DLC because that game is coming out in shit fire. The Uncharted game's coming out in August. The other DLC is coming out in October. And October's packed, So, and then so they showed games. It was just kind of like it was okay. So. And other people gave it a B. I was like, well, I started out with they did show you exclusive content. So that's what I was talking about. So doesn't mean it was bad. Yeah, and that, again, it was people online who were trying to say, oh, they're going to show this, they need to show that. They showed what they needed to show, and they moved on. And again, they spent more time on Spider-Man than they were supposed to. They were supposed to show The Last of Us, but they didn't. They showed Spider-Man, and I don't think people are upset about the Spider-Man game. So it's I think Halo Storm people are being fair. They're sourcing everything and they're putting it out there. So either you're going to learn from the sources or you're not. Like I said about super sampling, I don't want you to believe me. You can go to Digital Foundry and you can look that up yourself. It's not that difficult of a task. So yeah, I agree, Andrew. That my problem with the Xbox conference is that they're trying to sell new hardware, and everything they showed, minus 3 games, were multi-plat games. So no, the PlayStation community isn't going to let you all treat multi-plat games like first-party games. They're just not going to do it. So, well, either they held back on Crackdown or not. But look, the thing with the indies with Microsoft, Andrew, is that one of the things that people went in on Microsoft about, rightfully so, is that they didn't have any indie games. So now they do. But they're multi-plat games. Shout out to Iron Wolf, because he said, look, they don't have anything that's going to drive people over there and into their ecosystem. You know, that's just a fact. So I believe that's what it is. Yeah, that sounds right. So yeah, it came in today. So that's why I cut the thing short. They were at the door knocking when I was on the podcast. And shout out to you all. The analytics came in. I think I hit 39 people or 38 people. And that's the most people that's ever joined me on a podcast. So shout out to all you all for joining me. Thanks for joining me. So yeah, if you want to know when I podcast, go down and hit that bell and it'll tell you when I'm podcasting. Yeah, well, again, Sony may actually be moving more stuff to PSX. We just have to wait and see. Again, PSX is in 6 months. So, you know, we have to wait and see what they show. So, yeah, I get. Yeah, not everyone plays on PC. I mean, again, but that's cross-platforming. Is PC and Microsoft cross-platform? So, yeah, I don't play on PC technically. I'm playing Beyond Earth, Sid Meier's Civilizations thing, but that's an RTS, and me and my girlfriend, we both play that. So, you know, but yeah, she wanted to watch some House of Cards on Netflix, so she's binge watching that right now. So. And she activated Netflix on the PlayStation instead of just the smart TV we got. So that's a woman for you, though. But let me tell you something. If you learn the 2 words, yes, dear, everything will be much better for you. And just don't even argue. So there's nothing going on. Let's see. The Last of Us and Days Gone on the snow floor. Well, I mean, possibly. I'm glad they show gameplay of Days Gone. For me, that was important for me to see gameplay on what that game's going to be like. So yeah, you got some stealth, you got some survival. It looks like Dying Light meets World War Z, which is fine. I mean, that's fine. I'm not a big zombie guy, but that germ, this generation, has made a comeback. So, you know, that horror stuff from Resident Evil to Dying Light, you know, all that stuff, it's made a comeback. Left 4 Dead or whatever that shit was called. All that's made a comeback, so that's fine. So, you know, that's just the way it is. Yep, there's 200 million PC gamers. Yep. So, I own Windows 10. So, yeah, Civilization's a true RTS. Yeah, and I'm gonna start playing XCOM 2 probably Saturday after my baseball practice. So, Uncharted 4, yeah, it's on Vita. It is. Then it's still exclusive to the PlayStation ecosystem. That's all. So that's all it is. Uncharted is exclusive to the PlayStation ecosystem. Uncharted 4, I mean. So yeah, you're right. It doesn't play the same on Vita, but it's still not a console exclusive. So no, I mean it's not a exclusive on the PlayStation 4. It's exclusive to the ecosystem. So I mean that's what they mean by exclusives. They don't, you know, if it can be played like like I said, Anthem is a multi-plat. It's going to be played on PC. It's going to be played on the Xbox and the PlayStation 4. So that's it. It is a multi-plat console. So yeah, Days Gone did it for me. They sold it to me. So yeah, I'm buying it. You know, I don't know if I'll be a day one guy, but I'll buy it. I've made up my mind. I don't need to see anything else. Just like Detroit Become Human. I don't need to see anything else. I'm going to buy Detroit Become Human because I like the gameplay, because it allows you, the gamer, to make certain choices based on morality, and those games are still very popular. I know Mass Effect was a big letdown, especially for me. I mean, it hurt my feelings. So, you know, so yeah, PS4 has better features than the Vita. The Vita's best feature is that you can take it with you, I assume. So it's like the Switch. It's like the Switch. Yes, I'm one of those 1.2 billion on the PC. So, but I gotta understand. Let me recap again here. So you have the Xbox community, which literally thought because the console was more powerful, that people were going to people being these third-party developers were going to treat it like a first-party device, because that's what they did last generation. Let's keep it 100 with you. That is what they did. It was almost like they had a first-party device with the 360. But realistically, it was marketing deals from Grand Theft Auto 4 with the Lost and Damned and Ballad of Gay Tony. And there are still things that people on the PlayStation did not ever get on the from Xbox. PlayStation didn't complain, though. They just went out and they cut the price of their system, and thank God for them, Blu-ray became a standardized format. So, you know, so those guys have long memories. You know, a lot of the people that they replaced got fired. You know, so got fired, and those people still remember. So you really do. You really don't get my point. So it doesn't matter, you know. Well, I mean, Universal Gamer, understand that Halo Storm represents the people who thought that third-party developers are going to treat the new Xbox like it was first party. You know, that's why they're so upset with Destiny. You see, they're not excited about Destiny coming out. Okay, they're not talking about, wow, Destiny, a new game's coming out. It's, oh, we're going to boycott Destiny because they didn't take advantage of our system. See what I'm saying? You know, so are they going to boycott Star Wars? Are they going to boycott Assassin's Creed? Are they going to, I mean, yeah, I can go on. Are they going to boycott all these games because they're not going to be 4K like they were telling themselves for the last year? So, I mean, that's who they are. So they are already supporting the X more than the Pro. Based on what? Okay, based on what? Because the third-party developers are all supporting the Pro, and the first-party developer. Now, if you're talking about the first party, I would agree with you on first party. So, but not third party. Third party is the same. And Destiny is not getting any support on the Xbox X, son. I mean, that's straight from Bungie's mouth. So that's straight up fact. So, yeah, some people, the people that have the Switch, they love the handheld of the Switch. They said, and that's, you know, it is, I mean, that's just the way people are. So there's different strokes for different folks. So, you know, it's unfortunate they boycott all the games. Yeah, I don't disagree. And look, as a consumer, if you're upset, you have a right not to buy something. But what will happen at that point is that if there's a Destiny 3, they'll just say it's going to be an exclusive. Now, what they'll say is, well, that's okay. We have Anthem. But Anthem is not going to be bought by them. You know, because Anthem, it's just not going to be. Well, I take that back. I hope Anthem is fully supported by them. I mean, I'm not going to buy Anthem because that game looks just like the Division. Looks like you can play it by yourself for a little bit. Then you got to go online and go with people to go do certain shit. So, you know, which I'm not going to do. So I'm a grown man. I don't need the help. I just won't play. I won't play the game. So I hope it does well, though. I hope it does well. So they learn the hardware, start holding the developers responsible. that's the thing, is that the developers have all said that they are going to run the stuff the best they know how. What the Xbox community thought, for the most of them, not all, it's not the whole community. Like guys like Randall Thor flat said, let me quote him real fast. He said last year, quote, the first party games, a lot of those games will be 4K native 60. And that's what we got so far. You got a Gears of War. It's going to be patched to 4K 60. All right. It just is. That's a fact. So Gears will be patched to 4K 60. And then the other one, Forza, will be 4K 60. So since all those games will be and those are first party games, that makes sense to me. But what he said, and I'm going to quote him again, he said the third party games would not do that. So, well, Anthem technically will have a single player. Like the Division, it has a single player. You just need to play with other people. So, it just, so, I mean, again, I think Halo Storm looks at Microsoft giving you options. If an option is something that's free. Like if I go to a restaurant, I have the option to get baked potato, fries, or salad. Okay, that's an option. All right, Xbox Live is an option. So the problem is that you take options and you say, well, this is good for gaming. Then why are they charging you for it? You're willing to pay an extra $200 to $300 a year for options. That's not the option these guys want. Halo Storm is they don't want to have to pay extra to get that access. EA access may be a good idea to you, but to me it's stupid. You get the game for 10 hours. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. I'll just go to Redbox and rent it. So they're not supporting Xbox X more than Pro. So they're just that's a lie. I mean, again, I can't call it a lie. That's a mistake. So because the developers they're not going to do that. So at least not the third parties. The first party developers, yeah, but Sony's first party devs are bringing out their bangers. I mean, you saw nothing but first party games. So you saw a few even VR games. Those are all first party games. So, and some of those VR games will go to the Vive and to the Samsung as well. So. But, it is what it is. So any other questions? Yeah, that's what you are at EA Access. You're playing a demo. So, I mean, they even tried to say that the reason why Mass Effect Andromeda got ripped was because it was on Xbox first. And again, Mass Effect got ripped because it wasn't a good game. I'm a Mass Effect fan. It had nothing to do with early access on EA. So... yeah, EA Sports. Well, we've grown up with EA Sports, so I got no. I'm excited about Madden. It's just again, I'll be playing it on, I'll be playing it on my PlayStation. It's still the same Madden game. So, matter of fact, the PlayStation played a little bit faster. So, but again, with Madden, remember you can turn down the speed of your game. I play Madden on the professional level, the settings that the pros give you. So, yeah, Sony offered first party to do pro patch. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, and again, the games that got pro patch that I remembered they're big games. Uncharted got a patch. Naughty Dog patched their games, Uncharted and Last of Us. And I think Titanfall 2 got a patch. That was an EA game. So yeah, they got that was fine. I mean, I don't, I wouldn't worry about it. And you may see another Titanfall come out at the next E3. So it has more confirmed support games than Pro does. I mean, again, confirmed by who? I mean, if you're talking about that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't confirmed by who. I mean, I'll never say that you're lying, but this confirmed by who? So, sound like an owl. I don't know who. So, but yeah, I mean, you got a lot of upsets. So, EA Access, EA's. Well, I mean, again, so yeah, Pro has 150 games. Yeah, I mean, that's plenty of games for me. I don't need every game patched on Pro. You got to understand, Halo Storm, that Pro is only 1 out of 5 owners. So they're not going to give deference to that system. All right? So they're just not, okay? So yeah, EA Access is yeah. Well, you don't need EA Access to play EA games. So, and FIFA's a good game. FIFA's the biggest selling sports game in the world. So, that's just a fact. So, Destiny 2 checkerboard 4K 30. Why they use PC burn? Yeah. Again, well, Superfly, let me answer that for you. Let me keep it a stack with you. They thought that because the Xbox X or Scorpio was more powerful, they thought that the third-party guys were going to give deference to them. So, and when that now that they know that's not happening, they're in damage control. So that's what's happening. All right, that's exactly what's happening. So the same Digital Foundry, how great that system was, is also tearing the system down in the sense that they're using 4K checkerboard, which I don't have a problem with, but a lot of their fanboys ran around and said, hey, look, all these games are going to run and look better and be, it's not true. It's just not going to be true. So, and they need to get over it. They want to pay an extra, they're consumers. They want to pay the extra coin to go ahead and do that. That's fine. I'm not going to do it, but that's me. Now, if somebody wants to buy me one, I'll take it. So, yeah, the list of pro games was over 100 in January. And this is Savage, don't get caught up in the back and forth stuff. This is what I was saying to Andrew before. If you already know the pro can do 4K native games, and when the Xbox people say it can't do it, okay. You don't say anything else, because, and I'll tell you why. Let me tell you something that my dad told me. He said, if a blind man's walking through a forest and he comes upon 2 men arguing with each other, the blind man will stand there and wonder who the fool is. Okay? So don't argue with him because, it's silly to. So yeah, but 100 games, again, 150 games is enough for me to play, but everybody's different. Everybody's different. So so, and Bungie, yeah, this is the same Bungie that did the first 3 Halos. Now all of a sudden you see they suck. That's their mindset. But understand though, Superfly, that they thought that the first party developers, the third party developers are going to treat them like first party clients, and they don't understand that Sony is the market, is dictating the market. So yeah, just don't argue with him. So that's what he's trying to do. But if you don't argue with him, he'll try to troll, and then that's why I said, look, he can provide proof of what he said, or just you got to take it somewhere else, dude. So it is what it is. So, but arguing with them is what they want. That's why in that podcast this evening that people were like, well, how come Sony won't do crossplay? We can see who the better multiplayer players are. And if you want to see that, then you can go to esports and win some money. So it is what it is. So they're not even supporting the Xbox One at all. Okay, that's not true. If their game wasn't coming out on the Xbox X, and I would say, you know what, that's a good point, but it is coming out on the Xbox X. But see, Halo Storm's statement that they're not supporting it at all is because he thought he was going to get first party treatment on that Xbox X. They're not getting it. They're not going to give you first-party treatment. You're in the minority. You can't dictate to the majority what they're going to do. You don't get to do that. So, and that's just a fact of life. So, if you were thinking that because the system was more powerful that the developers are just going to say, oh, well, yeah, we're just going to make things for it better. No, that's not what they're going to do. They're going to do what's best for themselves. And if they can spend 100 hours making the games on both systems, they're going to spend 100 hours, not 120. So, So they're not being anti-consumer at all. So yeah, and that's a good point. Superfly, I was about to say that. So is the PC version, which is going to be 4K balls to the wall, 100 FPS? Yeah, you don't hear people saying that's anti-consumer. You have a choice. You have decided to support a brand in the minority, and you're going to be treated like that. So stop with the whole thing. You said people should be respectful. That's what I'm doing. You're supporting a brand, and you expect these third-party people to treat you like you're first class. You're not. You're not. You're the bottom of the barrel at this point. You have PC getting the best version of these games. You have the PlayStation and the Xbox roughly getting the same version of the game. So that's just the way they're going to do it. So, maybe, and now you should be more upset with Microsoft's first-party stuff, not the third-party guy. Get upset with the first party, okay? Yeah, that's what you guys don't understand. You need to take your arguments to Microsoft. So, all right, bro. Well, take it easy. I don't see where there's damage controlling that, but okay. Well, I'll make it easier for you, Halo Storm. Well, there you go. Have a good evening. But yeah, you as a minority don't get to dictate to the majority what they do. And you can't tell a third-party developer to do something because you want them to. And that's ultimately, guys, I'm closing up shop here. That's ultimately what this came down to, was that's what their community thought as a whole. Not all of them, because shout out to Randall Thor. But look, guys are disappointed. And they're lashing out, and that's what you're seeing. This is it. What in the medical field, this is called a person being terminally restless, that's what happens to the human body when it starts to die. And that's what you're looking at. This is called, they're in terminal restlessness right now. They're dying. So when their system does not adapt well this fall, and it won't, and remember, they're selling it at a loss. So shout out to Jimmy B Gaming, because he broke all this down earlier. Because they're selling it at a loss, it's just going to sit there, and then we'll all be able to get it for $399, which is what people thought it should have cost in the first place. So, but then this will be the last system. Sony will announce the PS5. I'm going to guess probably by E3 next year, probably expect an announcement, and for it to come out in 2020. So you guys, the Sony guys, can walk around with the T-shirts with the SOCs in their mouth and stuff like that. They'll be doing that. So, yeah, hopefully I stay alive long enough to do that. So I agree. It's not that they're tearing them apart. It's just that they're applying logical statements to it. Hey, look, it's checkerboard at 4K. I don't have a problem with checkerboard at 4K. But the Xbox community does. They're the ones with the problem with it. So not you, not me. I don't care that it's checkerboarded as long as it works. Okay. And so let me give a shout out here to folks. And I'm gonna start. Yeah, because he's saying I don't disagree. Yeah, the facts are the facts, not gonna change. So thank you. I appreciate it. But that's it, guys. It's after 11 on the East Coast here. So, and I got to go to work in like 9 hours and work at 12. So. That is what it is too. But I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody. So shout out to you, Savage, and Superfly, and J-Dog. I saw you in here earlier. I don't know if you're still here. So shout out to all you guys, man. I appreciate you all coming back with me. I just want to do that quick rant, and that way that can move everything on. So if you're on Twitter, you can just start telling them that, hey, look, a third-party developer is not going to give you first-party deference because you got more power. They're going to do what's easier for themselves. That's why their argument is it's so easy to develop for things like that, because they thought they would give deference to that, and they're not going to. So their final statement is, we're being held back because of these marketing deals. Okay, you're at that point when they say that to you, you need to come back and say, well, what about these games that are first party that are still 30 FPS? That's got nothing to do with Sony. You see what I'm saying? So their community is just reeling right now. They did not have a good week. And Phil Spencer, the rest of those execs that are going online. People need to be careful because the community is going to start writing letters to Microsoft like, hey, look, this dude's on here, saying a bunch of bullshit. He just needs to do his damn job. So, or he needs to quit. I think Phil Spencer by next E3 won't be there. That's just my opinion. I think he will start his own studio with Casey Hudson. So that's what I think he's going to do, because this is not going to go well at all for them. So, but that's it, guys. I appreciate you all being here. I'm going to bounce out of here like a check. Thanks for hitting the like button down there. I see that. So thank you so much. So you all have a good evening. After you're out there on the left coast, I wish I was. It's 8 o'clock out there, but appreciate you guys being here. But that is it. Honestly, what's happened is they thought that they were going to get first-party deference from third-party developers. It didn't happen, so they're damage controlling. They've spent the last 4 days now damage controlling the Microsoft conference. So it is what it is, guys. But that's it. I'm going to get on out of here. It's Craig Harris. Shout out to all you guys. Let me give a shout out here to JD33, Kratos, the god of PlayStation, Jada, Supersonic Wolf, One Stop for Gamers, man, Bear Hugger 29, Weapon Wheel Podcast, Sean Fox, Dark Cloud, all you guys out there that came by to listen. I appreciate it. So my next podcast will be Saturday morning, noon. Saturday. Well, so it won't be morning. Saturday at noon. So all you guys on the West Coast, wake up, eat yourself a bacon and egg sandwich, go work out, then come in and join me. So there'll probably be more news tomorrow. So, and I won't be able to cover it because I'll be at work. So I'll just be covering the Friday stuff. So, and I'll give you my score for Cars 3 that I went and saw tonight. And I'll tell you what I thought about it. And like I said, the Tupac movie, garbage, straight trash. Don't go see it. The New Edition movie was better. So, all right then, guys. I appreciate it. Take it easy now. Craig Harris. Peace out.